What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Some awesome content here on this channel and some awesome content to come for 2024. I am out here with the 2019 Silverado. Real quick here, shout out to Cold Air Inductions. We got our t-shirt on underneath this hoodie, and we got our hoodie on as well. Sorry if you're getting some wind noise, but got some merch on, got the Cold Air Inductions front plate on, and of course the main, we got our Cold Air Inductions intake on the Chevy Silverado. But I really quick here wanted to update you guys on this last video here. Hopefully this is the last video that I make for you guys about the issue with the 2019 Silverados, or the newer style Silverados, and if you have this truck and pair it with the Pulsar LT. So as you guys know, if you've watched the two previous videos, we've had an issue with not passing eCheck, and what you have to do is unplug your Pulsar LT wiring harness and reconnect your factory wiring harness. And I'll show you inside the cab here so we can get away from this wind noise and talk to you guys a little bit further about the issue. And hopefully today is the last day that we go to eCheck and not have this problem and the truck passes. Getting away from that wind noise, so I apologize if you guys had a bunch of wind noise out there in an open parking lot here. So our issue here is, here's our paperwork. Vehicle is not ready for the eCheck test. So if you have a newer Silverado and you have a Pulsar LT, this is the problem that you're going to run into. Your truck will not pass eCheck. I know a handful of guys that were able to leave on their Pulsar LT and not disconnect it and still pass their eCheck, but for me, I'm one of the unlucky ones. I had to unplug my Pulsar LT and reconnect my factory wiring harness to get everything back to its factory settings. And for me, I knew that because my truck was getting more and more ready for the eCheck test. And what I mean by that is the two paperworks that I got from both of the times that I went to the eCheck. So let me quickly here show you guys what you will run into as well, and to know if your truck is actually getting itself ready to pass the eCheck. So on January 22nd, 2024, I went for my eCheck test, and as you can see here, most of these say not complete, and that was the first time I went. The second time I went this year is on February 9th, and as you can see here, we have a lot more completes rather than not completes, and they're highlighted right here for you guys. But we still got a vehicle not ready to be tested because we got those two not completes. So this right here lets you know that your truck is getting ready to be tested. And how you do that is you got to simply unhook that Pulsar LT and do a good amount of driving around. And what I mean by that, I said this in the previous video, is here are the instructions of what the eCheck will give you guys if you ask for them. Here's what you have to do, and this is the drive cycle that they recommend that you do to get your vehicle ready to be tested. So here it is real quick one more time. Do this all at the same time and not in pieces. Let the vehicle sit for 8 hours. Start the vehicle and let it warm up. Drive for at least 10 minutes at highway speeds 55 or more. Drive for at least 20 minutes in urban traffic with at least 4 idle periods. This would include stoplights. So that is something that I had to do. I knew that I had to do that anyway. Been doing a lot of highway driving for the past week and a half since the last time I went to that eCheck to get the truck ready to be tested for today. Excuse me. So today, hopefully, fingers crossed, today is the last time I have to go there, and hopefully we pass. So this is basically the tell-all of if this actually works, of unplugging the Pulsar LT and doing this drive cycle that they recommend, and doing a lot of highway driving and getting the auto stop start to work again as the truck came from the factory. So those for me were my indicators that the truck is now ready and we're ready to go back and try it again at the eCheck. And again, for you guys that don't know, the issue is the Pulsar LT blocks communication with the computer's truck to the OBD port at the eCheck, and it doesn't allow the truck computer to read with the computer at the eCheck. It blocks the signal, and then that's how you end up getting the vehicle is not ready to be tested. Your truck is ready to be tested, it's just not getting that signal back and forth, which trips something and doesn't allow that communication back and forth with the truck's computer and their computer, and it brings up that vehicle not ready to be tested. So I will see you guys at eCheck, and we will see if the truck passes this time. All right, guys, we made it. Pulling in here again for the third time this year, but we will see if we pass eCheck and see if all of our efforts have been good and what they were supposed to be. Okay, guys, we just went through. By the sound of it, it looked like it passed. That's what the guy said. He's going to get the paperwork now, so I will see you guys in a few seconds here and let you know if we passed or not. All right, good news, guys. We passed. So everything that I've said in these past 3 videos that I've made for you guys, or past 4 videos I've made for you guys, has been absolutely true. You have to disconnect your Pulsar LT, reconnect your factory wiring harness, and get those drive cycles in, especially on the highway. And for me, signs of the truck getting ready without going back to eCheck is that auto stop start working immediately when you start your truck and get to your first stop sign or your first stop light. So if your truck is not auto stop starting itself on the first stop sign you get to or the first light that you get to, that's a good indicator right there that you still need to do some more drive cycles in the truck to get it ready. So for me, that was one of my big indicators for my situation. Is the second time that I went to eCheck, the truck was not auto stop starting itself until after the truck was warmed up and I had went through maybe 8 lights or so. And then actually in today's drive, when I started it up, this is a good comparison. When I first got to the stop sign at the end of my street, the auto stop start was working. The next light that I got to, the auto stop start was working. So for me, that was my indicator and letting me know that, all right, fingers crossed, we're looking pretty good here to pass our eCheck coming up. But real quick here, and then I'll end the video, I just wanted to show you guys what the paperwork will look like, instead of me just talking to you guys about it, what the paperwork for the eCheck will look like each time you get it and you fail, or when you finally pass. This is what it will look like. So as I said, on January 22nd, that was the first initial eCheck that we went to when we got our paperwork in the mail, and we had all these not completes and didn't pass. And then on February 9th, we went back again and we started seeing some improvement. We see most of those saying complete and only 2 of those saying not complete, that green highlight there. And then our third time, which is today, February 21st, got a lot of, we did multiple cycles. We did multiple cycles of this that I've explained to you guys in the previous videos and in this video. We did this multiple times, more than just twice. And here's what we got, passing eCheck. So all of those say complete now and pass. So right there should tell you guys that is the absolute truth and what you have to do if you have a newer Silverado and you run a Pulsar LT or a Range and you're not passing eCheck. These are the steps that you absolutely have to do to get yourself to pass eCheck. And for you guys that are in crunch time, I told you guys you got to drive the truck every single day, pretty much at least 2 or 3 times today, to speed yourself up if you've got your birthday coming up very soon, or I guess maybe 2 or 3 days from the time you get your paperwork or you decide to go to eCheck. Those are the steps you got to do. And some of you may be, I'll just have to say it, some of you may be driving around without your new sticker illegally for a couple days until your vehicle is ready for eCheck, because you're going to go to the DMV or mail your stuff in and they won't be able to give you your sticker because you haven't passed eCheck yet. So you got to do what you got to do. Hopefully you don't get pulled over. But again, if you guys are running a Pulsar LT or a Range on your Silverado and you're not passing, these are the most important steps that you have to do. You got to get those drive cycles in and get the truck ready for eCheck. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.